Hey everyone, Sir Jellybean here, and we are back with Karl-Gerät for OSTFRONT, and we're back with tutorials, and this is the German artillery tutorial for 2024. So it's been about over a year since I've actually done the original artillery tutorial, and I thought I would update it for 2024. So here we are. Now, as you can see, we have the full stockpile of German artillery pieces, everything that kind of fits in, from light infantry guns all the way up to your big things like the 600mm mortar. So as always, we'll go through the ammunition, the ranges, and we'll watch the reload speeds. And it will all be timestamped so you can see which piece of artillery they are and what takes your fancy. So we're going to start the small stuff. 7.5cm LG40. Now this is kind of like the Airborne support weapon. It's just a light support weapon system. It actually has 25 HE in the stock. I've already fired one. 16 heat and 9 armor piercing rounds. The range of this thing is a maximum of about 160, and it's a kind of direct fire weapon system. We're just going to pump off around here as well to show you. It's a two-man crew, as you can see. We're just going to pump around off. And the reload speed there, as you can see, it's quite steady. It's not bad. About similar to light infantry gun, but it is direct fire, so it is a very good system. Not my personal favourite, like a gun shield, but for a two-man crew, and you can kind of set it up and sneak it in a position quite well. It can be quite nasty, and those heat shells will blast through most things, apart from the heaviest armour. Next, we have all three variants of the light infantry gun. As you can see, they're all kind of the same ammo, and they all have the same range. The only difference is the kind of setup of the gun shield, and there's a slight difference in, as you can see, the actual design of the gun. Light infantry gun is probably one of the best guns in the game. It's pretty powerful. It is amazing. Now, the only thing that beats it in probably terms of use, this one actually has, oh no, have I clicked the SIG there? Yeah, that is the SIG, that's why. So we have all three versions of this gun, and yeah, the only thing that beats it is the US Howitzer, because that thing also has white phosphorus shells. But this thing has a very powerful weapon. It's also got a very good arc system. As you can see, you can arc the rounds, a bit kind of over the target. Got very fast reload speed, like the same 7.5cm, and the gun shield keeps the crew quite well protected. It's one of my favourite guns in the game, and the heat shells are very powerful. They'll take out Shermans, they'll take out T-34, 85s, T-34s in general. They can even take out KVs in the right spot. So these are probably one of the best gun systems in the game, and you can also obviously embed them with sandbags as always. There's three variants, as you can see. There's one with sleds, the standard, and the late version, which is my personal favourite. Looks pretty damn cool. So definitely worth a buy. I'd say it's probably the best thing in the German forces for the cost, and you can use it all the way up to the late game, and even in the late game it's a fantastic buy. Definitely worth its weight in gold. Next we have the SIG, the big lad, 15cm. Thing's a bit different. So this thing comes with 15 HE and 4 of these, which I believe are the special kind of HE rounds, a bit longer range. Haven't actually used them, so they're a bit new to me, so we'll learn stuff here. As you can see, the range standard is 150. If I load the other shells in, I believe it's slightly longer with the other shells. The range with that is 210. Now these ones, I believe, must be, they look like HE and they're a bigger caliber. As you can see, they weigh more per unit. They're definitely chunkier, so we're going to fire off both actually. So your standard one, as you can see, has got pretty good range on the SIG. This thing will cripple any tank in the game, even your super heavies. It's very powerful. It'll take out infantry, it'll take out buildings, and it's quite easy to get early game. It's one of my favourite things to use, and as you can see, it's a beast. It's actually standard HE round, and then we'll load up the 15cm Steingranat, which I believe is just a higher caliber round. Now this thing also has a little gun shield, not as good as the others. You even get this on what's known as the Bison, the Sturmpanzer one. It's basically one of these strapped into the tank. As someone told me, it wasn't even molded in, so they could take the turret off as well. We'll take the gun out, which is very, very smart. And as you can see, it's got a very slow reload time. It's not very quick, but each shot you hit will destroy just about anything. It's like the light infantry gun, it's very useful. I use them in my conquest and campaigns, and it's very powerful. And this is the Steingranat. I haven't seen this in Conquest, but let's see how powerful it is. Holy moly, that thing's got some kick. So as you can see, very powerful. Another one of my favourites. Cheap, fairly cheap, a bit more expensive, but a fantastic weapon system. Next we have the first kind of proper artillery, 10.5cm light infantry howitzer. So, or light field gun. So this thing has a range of 355. As you can see, it's packing 20 HE, 5 armor piercing and 5 heat. And the heat and the armor piercing do have less range, so we're just going to kind of focus on more of the HE. As you can see, pumps that around. Pretty powerful, 105mm, and it has a pretty good reload speed, as you can see there. It's not bad at all. It's pretty useful. The gun shield's not bad on it as well. This thing's one of my favourite artillery pieces because of the quick reload speed. It's a very good artillery piece, and it is a fair price. good to use on attack ground and just let them fire away. So I do like this. 4-man crew, very versatile, and it will take out most tanks if it hits and most emplacements, so it's very powerful. And it's fairly accurate, but as you can see, when you get to the big artillery pieces at range, they're not as accurate. Next, we've got the 10cm SK. So this thing has a longer range, which is great, as you can see. We're going all the way up here to 450. Now it's slightly, I believe it's slightly less caliber. No, it's actually 10.5 as well. The ammunition for it, it's got 20 HE and 5 armor piercing. I'm going to just chuck out a HE round just to show you. Bang. And the reload time is basically the same as the last. This thing obviously has no gun shield. It also has a larger crew. But it is longer range, so it's good for that. The accuracy does suffer at the long ranges, but it is a very good weapon system. Great for that long range hitting power, or long range frost front. So yeah, it's actually a really good buy as well. I do like this gun system. It's only, I believe, one more research point to add to that, so it's pretty damn good. Next, we've got the 15cm. Now, the Heavy Field Howitzer, you might think, oh, a bigger boom. It is a bigger boom, but it's also a longer reload time. I personally prefer the 105, but as you can see, this has a range of 385. It's packing 10 HE and obviously one loaded in. And we're just going to pump around. And that is very powerful. The accuracy is not great. It does hit very hard, but I personally prefer the quicker loading, lighter artillery with better accuracy. But it's still a good weapon system. One of these or two of these on the attack ground will basically destroy anything. So they're not a bad weapon system at all. But like I said, lighter stuff seems to be more accurate and more useful to me. Next we have the 15.5. Now I haven't really used this much. So let's just check the ranges. It's obviously came with the Liberation DLC, dropped at the same time. Has a range of 455, which is pretty damn good. It's packing 10 HE and obviously one loaded in. Now I'm going to pump a round off. As you can see, it's a pretty big beastie. And obviously 15.5 centimeters, very powerful, large caliber rounds. But its accuracy does suffer, and obviously the reload time is slower than the smaller calibers. It looks pretty cool, but no gun shield as well. Does mean it's quite vulnerable with small arms if they do get close. Personally, it's still useful, just like the 15cm, just a slightly bigger caliber. It does look a bit more menacing, but I guess it depends on what flavour of artillery you want. Next we have the 15.5cm, as you can see, this is the same gun but on a kind of direct fire mount. It's got HE, and it's just firing directly, so that's like a naval emplacement. So that's quite cool to have. I just thought I'd add it in because it looks kind of interesting, but I think it's just campaign only as far as I know. Next we have this 17cm K18 Mortar Lafette, which is, I believe, a World War I artillery piece. This thing has a range of 520, which is massive. It's packing 10 rounds with one loaded in. We will pump a round off just to show you the where's the artillery piece. As you can see, very, very powerful, and it's pretty damn accurate. But it's got a very long reload time, but these things obviously will pound. Personally, I would skip middle artillery like that, either go light artillery or just go heavy. I think the 17cm is actually one of the better artillery pieces. I prefer it over the 21cm, but that's all to flavour. No gun shield as well, which does mean they're vulnerable to being attacked, but it does look menacing. Very slow moving, so make sure you bring something to tow it, even slower than standard artillery. Next we have the 21cm Mortar. It's packing 5 rounds, obviously one loaded in. I believe this actually has less range than the other gun. I'm going to have to double check. Yeah, it's only 425 metres. But we'll pump around off just to show you. I've never had much luck with this artillery piece, but maybe that's just more. Oh, what else is going on? Pump around out. As you can see, it's not that accurate. Holy crap, where's the explosion? Quite a bit behind it. It does pack a hell of a punch, but in my opinion, the reload time is massively slow. And it's not very accurate for what it is. It's not worth the point cost and the hassle. I would personally go with the 17cm, but once you get to that point, you're better off going into the rocket artillery. Now, we have all 3 flavours here with the 15cm, the 21cm, and the 30cm. Now, we'll go through the 15 first. 15 is the lightest of the Nebelwerfers. They're awesome. This one has a range of 310, and it packs 42 rounds with 6 loaded in, and we will show you the impact of the Nebelwerfer. I'm going to do it third person so we can actually see the rockets. This thing has 6 tubes, and it's in like a circular kind of built in a circular kind of what would it be? Whatever it is, it's circular. It's in a cylindrical, I think it would be. And as you can see, it's pretty slow firing, but they do hit in fairly decent accuracy. They're very powerful. Those 15cm can take out light and medium tanks, sometimes heavy. They'll blow infantry up. Problem is with the Nebelwerfer, it's definitely bigger is better. 15cm just doesn't cut it, in my opinion. Now the 21cm is a bit better, you only get 5 shots. Has a range of 310 again, or 320, so similar. We'll just get them out here so they can shoot. It obviously packs 25 loaded in and 5 loaded, so a bit less ammunition, but bigger rounds. These obviously hit with more bang, as you can see. Kabooch, definitely hitting very hard, very heavy. But just like lighter Nebelwerfer, the beast is the 30cm. It just outdoes them all. Now the range on this thing is a lot shorter. It's 280. I will demonstrate why. So you get 12 loaded in the back and 6 already preloaded. You get less ammo, but just look at the devastation of this thing. Each round's 30cm. They're massive. That's why I use that one. This will take any tank, any infantry, any building out. It is insane, and the spread is pretty good. It's very good for carpeting area. One of these will take out an objective, and it'll take out anything on it. So definitely work towards the 30cm. They are pricey. They're very vulnerable, but my god, especially the 30cm, these things kick. They do reload hell of a slow, as you can see. Still loading. Takes like minutes, but definitely worth it. And then finally, we do have the Karl-Gerät, the Thor siege mortar. This thing's packing 3 of these Schwer Bet on the Granat rounds, and 2 of these Leechen with one of the, I believe that's the Leechen loaded in. No, that's the Schwer, so it's got more Schwer. The range of this thing's weird, so it's because it's technically a mortar, it has a dead zone. Dead zone is up to 150, and the max range isn't much either. It is 275. So it's a bit thing. Now we're going to fire one of the standard rounds here, the 60cm Schwer. It is a beast. Fire away. And we'll load another one of the other rounds in. And the Schwer are the biggest rounds, as you can see. This will kill anything. And to be fair, we don't have to wait for the other round to be loaded, because it does take like 2 minutes to reload. That's the Schwer's the bigger round, and that's a smaller round. I don't know if that's a concrete busting round or something. That's why it's specifically built, but it's just less bang. But it's an absolute beast. I do like it. You can even bring it in on multiplayer. It's fun. It will kill anything. It's very vulnerable. It can be taken out by autocannons, but very useful. Anyway, I hope that answers most of your questions on artillery, and I will just go through my personal picks. Not great. Light infantry guns are fantastic. SIG is fantastic. These guys are okay. Not the biggest fan of anything in this group here. These guys, if you really want them, but I'd avoid. Nebelwerfers are good, but avoid the first 2 are pretty good. The 30cm makes it very, very good. And the siege mortar, if you can afford to bring it, will decimate anything on the battlefield, but you will be babysitting it a lot. Anyway, hope you found that advice useful and updated for 2024. Thanks for watching, everyone, and you guys have a fantastic evening.